Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. It's Tim Shurr, and it's 7 a.m. on Monday morning. Let's make it rain.
Here's the question. What's going on inside the minds of top achievers that cause them to make extraordinary breakthroughs both personally and professionally? My name is Tim Shurr, and I invite you to join me as we take a deep dive into the unconscious mind and discover how to transform your biggest dreams into a reality. Welcome to the How to Be Mesmerizing podcast.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. I'm super excited that you're here. So it's 7 a.m. I just dropped my son off at high school. He was doing a Secret Santa thing. He asked, they all write down on a piece of paper, what would you like from your Secret Santa? And the guy that my son got, I guess he's this real big guy, and he didn't write anything except a mug. He wanted a mug for Christmas. And so, of course, my son bought him this mug that is so big that you could actually sit in it. So thinking that would be funny, and I'm sure it was. So I dropped him off today because he didn't want to lug this big thing on the bus. So I figured I'm driving home and let's podcast. So when it is Monday, I don't know how you start your Monday, but I always think, all right, this is a fresh week and I'm going to make some things happen. Right, we're going to get some things accomplished this week because I'll never get it back and you won't either. So what can we do to make it count? And, there's lots of goal setting and strategies and things like that. What I basically do is I start with the law of three. And for me, that means I'm going to do three things today that are going to move me towards my outcome. Now, of course, you have to be clear on what your outcome is. A lot of times people don't have an outcome, or it's very vague. Like, I want to just be healthier. That's not a clear outcome, right? A clear outcome is I'm going to clean out the pantry and fill it with healthy snacks so I can just grab and go this week. And I'm going to do 10 push-ups every other morning. Okay, so now that's a clear outcome, because now, of course, your goal is to get healthy, but the outcome is, what are the action steps that you're going to take to improve that health, right? So what can you do to make sure that you're increasing your endurance this week? What can you do to make sure that you are setting up your environment in a way that is healthy and that makes it conducive for achieving your goal, right? What things else do you need to do to be able to accomplish this task? Sometimes we need to actually just write out a big list of all the things that we think need to occur in order for us to get the results that we're looking for. And then out of that list, you start prioritizing, all right, what are the top three things in order that would move you to accomplishing your goals this week the fastest? And that way, we're not hoping things work out. We don't have our fingers crossed. Instead, we're strategically putting the actions down so that we know exactly what we're supposed to do, because when you have real clarity, then it makes it easier to achieve your goal. So if your outcome is Monday morning at 7 a.m., I'm going to be doing some strength training for 10 or 15 minutes, then that's, a very clear objective, because you know exactly what you're going to do. And if you want to make it even clearer, decide what music are you going to listen to, where are you going to do this fitness, and how many reps are you going to do, and you just get it really, really dialed down so you know exactly what to do. And then, of course, getting motivated just means you think about how great you're going to feel after you get this done, how great you're going to feel that you made that deposit into your health account, or if you're working on your wealth or your relationships or whatever it may be, you jump to the end and you get excited about how it's going to feel once you've accomplished that, how you're going to feel once you got your fitness in. You're going to feel energized. You're going to feel happy that you did it. You're going to be burning fat the whole rest of the day, even though you might be sitting in a chair, right? And so you get excited about how you're going to feel. You can also think about how you're going to feel if you don't do it, which is often people feel tired afterwards. They feel like they've got this lag about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then they got to start pounding all these caffeine or sugar products to try to stay awake, which only makes them more tired. So your mind naturally wants to avoid pain. So if you think of not doing your fitness or not doing one of your three activities as something that's going to generate pain in your life, then your brain is going to push you towards accomplishing this goal. If you think about how much pleasure and joy you're going to get out of engaging in these specific activities, then your brain is going to actually pull you towards the pleasure of achieving this goal, so that you constantly get your mind pushing and pulling towards the goal. And when you do that, you're naturally going to feel motivated. So internal motivation, what they call intrinsic motivation, is what is lasting and sustainable, right? If you're doing it just because you want some external gratification, if I lose weight, then I'm going to look great in my clothes, and then people are going to like me more, that's not very motivating in the long run. So but feeling like this is something that I want, this is something that I'm committed to, this is something that's going to give me this kind of results and this kind of value, and you list it out, I'm going to win in this way, and this way, and this way, and I'm going to benefit in this way, and this way, and I'm going to feel amazing because of this and this and this, then you're going to internally feel a desire to follow through. You're going to feel internally driven. And of course, you can use things to get you in the mood. So using high energy music or fragrances or television or a video that you watch or taking a class. There's lots of things that you can do to create that motivation or get you into state. So the 3 things that you pick, you want to prioritize. What do you think are the most important things? Because there's so many things that you could do today. Every day is full of possibilities. And that's a blessing and a curse, because, the blessing is that you have lots of potential. You always have opportunities where you can grow and succeed. The downfall is if you have too many options, human beings end up not picking any, right? So we need to, usually they say, 3 options is really a perfect number of options for you to have. If you start thinking about more and more and more options, we get overwhelmed and we don't know what to do, so human beings tend not to do anything. Okay, so 3 options, set 3 goals for this is what I'm going to accomplish in the, today. And then out of those 3 goals, you prioritize which one's the most important. And usually what I recommend is you pick the hardest one first, because then you can get it done and out of the way, and the rest are easier. And so, because you're going to have the most energy and enthusiasm usually when you first start out, but not always. Maybe you're not a morning person. Maybe you really kick in later in the day. Well, if that's the case, then just do the easier stuff in the morning. And then when you're really, kicked in, then you can tackle that more challenging goal. So you got to fit the goals to your personality as well. Lean towards your strengths and what makes you, what are you the best at, right? And that's what you focus on. And so, all right, so that's really it. Okay, so today I'll have my 3 goals. Usually I set them the night before, but I'll know my 3 things that I'm going to get done that are going to be exciting, that are going to move me closest to my goal. And if you think about it, if you do 3 things every day, then you don't have to hope that your goals are going to work out, because you're actually making all kinds of deposits, right? So think of when you're achieving goals, it's like you're making a deposit into your health account, into your wealth account, into your relationships account, into your spiritual account, whatever account you're building up. And, when you're making deposits, it's adding up. And a lot of times those deposits don't feel like maybe it's that much, but over time, they add up, and then you start getting this compounding interest where you've made enough deposits where they're kind of making things happen on its own, right? Like you put enough money in the bank, it starts generating more interest in there, which, then you're making money on your interest, which you didn't actually have to create, right? And so that compounding interest can really add up down the road. The same is true for the emotional deposits that you make into your different health, wealth, and relationship accounts, right? At first, it might feel like it's not that much, but over time, it starts to build on itself. You start to get this massive momentum. It's pretty exciting. And so think about it. People say, oh, I don't know if I'm going to achieve my goal, or I don't know if it's going to work this time. Well, if you do 3 things each day in a week, that's 21 deposits that you made. Think about that. In a week, that's 21 deposits that you made. In 4 weeks, that's 84 deposits that you made. In a 4-week month, that's 84 deposits. I mean, that's pretty amazing if you think about it. And that's just 28 days. You know, a calendar week is usually 30 days. So let's just say that, what's 84 plus another, that's 6, that's 90 activities a month. 90 activities a month. 90 deposits a month. Think about that. 90 deposits a month in a year, right? 90 times 12. I don't know what that is, but 90 times 12. I know it's over 900, right? It's over 900 deposits that you made in a year. Do you think that your odds of achieving a goal are going to dramatically increase if you do 900 things to make that happen? You better believe it. I mean, that's amazing. The reason why people don't achieve their goals most of the time is because they say they're going to achieve this goal, and then they make maybe that first 2 weeks worth of deposits, and then they stop. Or they do a couple weeks, and then they take a couple weeks off, and then they do a couple weeks, and they take a couple weeks off, right? And at the end of the year, they sporadically saved. You know, they sporadically made these deposits. There was no consistency. And if there's no consistency, there's no momentum. If there's no momentum, there's no compound interest. If there's no compound interest, there's no big payoff. And so that's why consistency is key. That's why doing a little bit every day. I didn't say you're going to do 10 things every day. No, I said 3. And these 3 things, you know, they don't have to be big, giant things. Remember, your biggest goals are just a whole bunch of small goals. Climbing the tallest mountain, you still have to just take a step at a time, right? No matter how tall the mountain is, you know how you get up there? You put 1 foot in front of the other, okay? 1 foot in front of the other. So once you keep putting 1 foot in front of the other enough times, eventually you arrive at the top of the mountain. You arrive at the summit. And we can arrive at the summit of any goal that we set our minds to as long as we keep prioritizing and we keep focusing on what's exciting about it, and we keep creating an environment around us that makes us feel excited and supported, and then we keep focusing on how amazing this is that we are living our life intentionally with purpose, on purpose, and that makes us feel excited as well because, geez, you know, if you're living life in this kind of way where you get up in the morning and you know exactly what you're going to do to make your life worth it, you're not going to just go through all these, you know, things on your to-do list, but you actually have a separate list, which is your live life at the largest list, right? You have a list that says, you know, I am going to make something happen. I'm going to turn a dream into a reality, you know, using my 3-step list every day. That is much more powerful than just trying to crank through a to-do list that never really ends, right? So there's lists that we have of things that never really end, like dishes and laundry and bills and taxes. And then there's the things that make our life worth living. And so you've got to decide, what is that outcome for you today? And then what are the 3 things that you're going to start to do to make it happen? All right, so make sure you do that. And at the end of this week, you'll have 21 activities accomplished, and you're going to be feeling pretty awesome. So make today count, make it a sure success, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye.
Hey, would you like more free tips on how to be a mesmerizing leader? Then check out mesmerizingleadership.com and also hang out with me on Facebook, facebook.com/Tim Shurr. Thanks so much, and make your day a sure success.